The recipe for my little parcels of noble salmon, spiced salmon dumplings, is 700 years old. Though not the easiest to understand in its original form, I think you'll find my modern interpretation is simple enough to follow. We must start with the key spice, cumin. Take 3 tablespoons of whole cumin seeds and toast them in a heavy-bottomed pan on a medium to high heat. Keep the seeds moving. You're looking for them to turn a shade darker and for the scent to develop from simply cumin to a roasted, almost nutty cumin aroma. This takes a few minutes. Once there, remove off the heat, allow to cool, and then blend in a coffee or spice grounder. Or if you can't resist your medieval urges, bash away with your pestle and mortar. You want the cumin to be as fine as you can get it, so you may have to persevere for a good minute or so. Then sieve with a fine sieve or tea strainer onto a baking sheet and leave aside. This simple technique of roasting cumin is something I learned from reading Madhur Jaffrey's work, and is important because the salmon parcels will later be rolled in the cumin. If you were to use unroasted cumin, then they simply wouldn't taste as good. Next, take skinless salmon fillets, weighing about 400 grams or so, that's 14 ounces, and place them in your food processor. Give it a quick whiz to break up the salmon. Then to this add 4 level tablespoons of white rice flour, about a dozen strands of saffron that have been soaking in a little hot water for at least 10 minutes. Include the water, 1 teaspoon of ground black or long pepper, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of fine cooking salt. Blend until the spices are distributed well and the mixture is slightly gelatinous. This takes a minute or two. Put the salmon dumpling mix into a piping bag with a plain-ended nozzle. Bring a pan of water to the boil and pipe the mixture into the water, snipping off at 4 centimetre intervals, that's about 1.5 inches. Boil the dumplings for between 40 and 60 seconds. Cook them in small batches. Remove with a slotted spoon and drain on paper towels. Then roll them in the roasted cumin powder, giving them a generous coating. Finally, to turn them into little Christmas parcels, tie each one with a chive leaf. These parcels of noble salmon are best served fresh, straight from cooking them, though you can keep them chilled for a few hours if making beforehand, and, dare I say, you can warm them through for a few seconds in that most unmedieval of appliances, the microwave, known in some circles as the microwave. My final medieval Christmas bites, Royal Fig Tartlets, are simple and elegant, and they have a surprising final ingredient that takes them to another level. You need to follow the same gluten-free pastry recipe and method as for the mini flan pain shown in part 1, except you add to the flour 1 tablespoon of icing sugar, that's confectioner's sugar to my US viewers. Unlike the flan pains, the cases are fully baked and allowed to cool before the fig filling is piped in. So they are baked for 12 minutes in the middle of a hot oven, 180 fan, 200 Celsius, 390 Fahrenheit. So to make the filling you need 350 grams, about 12 ounces of dried figs, 3 tablespoons of raisins of Corinth, better known in the UK as currants and elsewhere as Zante currants, about 100 mils, that's 3½ fluid ounces of sweet white wine, a muscat grape is good, and 1/4 to ½ teaspoon each of ground cinnamon and ginger. The exact amount of spice needed may vary, I'll explain more later. Cut up your figs with scissors. Cut them much smaller than you see here. That is if you don't want your food processor to go berserk, as mine did because it couldn't handle the big chunks. Well, at least I have a shot for my next outtakes video. So, place the figs, raisins and wine into your food processor and whiz for a good minute or two until the mixture is soft and pipeable. You may find you need to add a little more wine and give it a few more moments of whizzing to get it just right. Then add a level 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon and the same of ground ginger. Process for a few seconds to blend in the spices, then taste the mixture. You're looking for the cinnamon and ginger to come through, but not to overpower the figs, which it's easy to do with such strong spices. If you think it needs it, add another 1/4 teaspoon of each spice and mix well in. Then put your figgy mix, now smelling distinctly of Christmas, into a piping bag fitted with a star nozzle. Next, it's time to fill the tartlet cases. I'm just creating a simple swirl. And finally, I'm going to strew a few flakes of sea salt atop each tartlet, just as the original 15th century recipe directs. Yes, the culinary enchantment from adding a hint of saltiness to an otherwise sweet affair was understood long before it became trendy in modern cookery. Just a little reminder that you can obtain detailed written recipes for all 3 Christmas bites on my Buy Me a Coffee page, where you can also show, should you wish to, your Christmas thanks by buying me a coffee. The link is in the video description. Premium content subscribers obtain the recipes in the normal way via the website. I have to say that adapting these 3 medieval recipes and creating and developing these 3 medieval Christmas bites has been some of the best fun I've had in the kitchen all year. I really hope that you'll have a go at making at least one of them. They are just a little bit indulgent, but that's perfect for adding a little bit of medieval sparkle to the holidays. Merry Christmas!